this is Kristina Goodrich, and I'm here with Frank Tyneski, who is the Vice President of Product Development and Design for Skinit in San Diego. So how much have you grown the design element in Skinit?
Well, it's almost hard to even imagine. What I brought to Skinit as mostly consumer business at that time was design thinking. In that period of time, we've grown our business almost by 2x, and we built a factory in Suzhou, China, which is 100,000 square foot of factory space, and to scale based on our customer demand. Right, we had to acquire private equity funding, so I was on the hunt to do that and participatory in that.
Wow.
And we accrued $60 million in private equity funding to scale our operations offshore and grow this business.
Wow.
So it's pretty exciting.
That is exciting. I don't think that a whole lot of designers have been participating at that level within a company.
Well, it's been fun for me because normally a designer's guardrails are set sort of within the design space, and of course they've widened, right? They include other things like merging the digital and physical experience and other types of things.
Yeah.
So certainly our scope is broadened over the few years. We have a bigger seat at the table, but in a company this size, it's fun. I get to do a lot of different things that I probably wouldn't have ever experienced in the context of a larger company.
I've noticed that you do a fair amount of bleeding into the business arena of Skinit. We've heard about the kinds of things that you do to support the retail, the development of new processes and new ideas for business opportunities. And that's certainly a creative reinvention of what a vice president of product development and design does. So in that sense, my question to you is, how much bleeding into the design arena are you comfortable with the business colleagues coming?
We talk a lot about the migration of designers kind of merging into business.
Yeah.
I'm finding that a lot of business leaders are becoming more and more schooled on design. They're appreciating design more. They're conscious of it. They're certainly aware of it. I think there are brands that have helped push that. I think the great UI, great UX, great physical execution of product that we all love and experience, and the market share that's gathered from that is no longer in these little segments or quarantine little areas. I mean, I have business leaders that say, look, I can't draw a straight line with a ruler, but I got this idea. Can you help me with this? And the idea might be very crude from an execution point of view. But the kernel of the idea is solid. Yeah. Then we apply, design for context, end user, research, color, materials, and trends. We wrap our form around that, and it starts to make a lot of sense. And both parties have to have a pretty tough skin.
Yes.
And you have to build endearing relationships to where you can trust one another. I think trust in the organization is that you can be vulnerable, right? As long as you're sincere in your efforts, and I think the sincerity of that is this convection that happens both ways, where good ideas flow back and forth. So not all the ideas are ours, but sometimes they are our ideas, and sometimes the best thing we can do is give them away. And by the way, this makes sense, and I've seen this work a lot of times in my history, where the kernel of an idea might have come from me or somebody in my department, but ultimately I know it's successful when a product manager or somebody on the team points to that product and says, that's my product. Once they metabolize it as theirs, there's a shared ownership, and usually that convection gets even stronger. It isn't design versus engineering or design versus the business team. Sometimes I think design's out to challenge the world. I think design in defense of good design, but I think sometimes the right answer is, how do you partner with the people to really give it away?
Right, so it's a we us, not a we they.
Sure, I agree. I would agree with that.
And that's a very important distinction. Little humility goes a long way.
It does.
See more of my conversations with Frank Tyneski for specific examples of how he is integrating design as a competitive advantage at Skinit.